Today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about power positions. I know a lot of times people have questions on how power positions work, but usually high skilled players have a natural grasp of where these locations are. But I think for most people that are brand new to the series, or maybe haven't really put in that much time to really understand how the in-game mechanics work, struggle with this concept. So in today's video, what we're going to do is break down two different maps. We're going to look at Gridlock as well as Arsenal. So if you enjoy the video or find it helpful in any way, please remember to hit that like button. And if you are brand new to the channel, or you're one of the 72% that have seen more than one video and haven't yet subscribed, and you can double check this by making sure that red subscribe button is turned to gray, as well as making sure you have those notifications on if you actually want to get notified when a video goes live. Also, if you'd like me to continue this series on other maps, make sure you comment that down below so we can get started on those ones as soon as possible. So for this first gameplay, what we're going to see is on Gridlock, I'm actually trying to go for long shot challenges with the SWAT so I can get a diamond. And I was able to accomplish that, not in this specific gameplay, but in the Arsenal gameplay. So I specifically chose these two maps because if I'm going to go for long shots, I want to make sure they're as easy as possible. And aligning the power position with the long shots can go a long way in completing those challenges. That's just more of a side note, and it works out that I am able to show off what the power position looks like and how you're able to dominate from the specific area. I know I've had a couple deaths, and those are pretty much the only deaths I'll have the entire match. So I can provide a little bit more information into the mix. We actually have the Call of Duty app that allows you to see an overhead view of the map. You can see your kills, your deaths, the overall kills on the map, the deaths on the map, all those different things tied up, and this is what it ends up looking like. So I went ahead and added a little bit more so you can see where the spawns are. Those circles that are blue, those are where the spawns typically are on this map, so pretty straightforward. These other blue dotted lines are pretty much the flank routes or the outside of the map, and you can see all that red area in the middle is where typically people are going to be dying. So personally, based off the style of the map, I think that this map and Arsenal are both rifle maps. Not to say you can't use an LMG, a sniper, an SMG, or whatever the case is, but these are rifle maps. So if you're going to be using an SMG on this map, this is not the strategy you would use to hold the power position. Typically, you're going to hold the power position with a rifle because the sight lines are in your favor. Allows you to kind of stay in one location, lock it down, rotate back and forth, check the spawns. There's a lot of different things that are going on when you're controlling a power position. For the most part, you want to lock down a general area. And in this specific gameplay, what you're going to see is for Gridlock, I'm locking down this little house, building, or whatever you want to call it, and pretty much paying attention to the minimap, seeing where enemies are, and trying to position myself where I'm going to win these gunfights. You can see I have a UAV in the air. I have that coming through. I'm making sure that I got these spawns as I call in the Hellstorm. I'm able to take out a couple individuals, and then I'm able to chain my streaks together. I'm not going to die because I'm able to position myself the right way. I can acknowledge when the spawns flip so I don't get caught off guard. A lot of times the long route, I'm able to peek it, or I'm paying attention to those flank routes so that I can see if anyone's coming around the corner from a while away. So to show you how this power position looks on the heat map, you can see where all my kills are coming from when we look at this overhead view of the map. And there are a lot of people that will consider this camping. I think it is a hair just above camping because I'm not throwing down my barbed wire. I'm not throwing down a barricade to block my sides. I'm literally rotating and paying attention to the minimap and letting the kills come to me. And that's why more often than not, I could do this and I'm going to have the most kills in the match. I'm going to have the highest KD and I'm going to have the highest score per minute among anyone in the lobby. But one thing to keep in mind is when you employ this type of strategy, you can only do it in burst. I wouldn't recommend doing it the entire match because what ends up happening, there is a really good player, not just a good player, because good players you can always deal with if you're playing smart, but really good players that know specifically what you're doing, they're going to know how to come at you so they can actually take you off that streak. Because a lot of times better players naturally understand, hey, someone's going on a streak, let me go ahead and try and shut them down because they're going to be a problem later. A lot of times that's the type of stuff that happens. So right here, if you look at the mini map, you can see that on the south side, as far as the west side corner, all the way to the southwest, there is a big hole of nothingness that it shows that enemies will probably be there. And you can see this guy end up coming around, and that's a guy who went for the flank route. And a lot of times you got to be aware of that. If the space is too large, it's probably too good to be true. You can see where my teammates are. I don't really feel good about this because it looks like the spawns have flipped. There's too many of them in the middle. I don't really want to take that engagement. I'm going to go ahead and push back and see if these guys chase. Go ahead and go to a little safe spot. This is actually a really good spot. Get that map awareness. Now I know the guy's in the window, and now I can come back out and take him out. You can see he's in the window. I end up peeking him. He's not really ready for me. I don't have any perks on either because I was going for that 50 kills with an optic and 5 attachments. So I don't really have that going for me. So if the guy had acoustic, probably going to be able to spot me. So something to keep in mind is that this is just one skill in many skills that are available when you're playing Call of Duty. Obviously, if you're going to lock down this room, you're going to get better at doing that. And there's a lot of people that just stop there and they end up thinking that they're really good at the game because maybe they have decent stats. But more often than not, if you only stick to learning how to do this and nothing else, when you get challenged by another player that's actually really good, all the other weaknesses will show and it'll be pretty obvious that you're not as good as you thought you were. So I think we've seen enough of Gridlock. Let's go ahead and transition to Arsenal. We're going to see how I control that map, and it's a little bit different than this because there's actually a couple different areas you want to lock down or have the option of locking down. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that overhead view of the map that can be found through the Call of Duty app or on that website, the same way we did for Gridlock. So you can see those two different areas are circled. That's where the spawns are, and you can see that dotted line, which is basically the path of least resistance or the area that you want to go if you're trying to flank. So when we look at where a majority of the deaths are happening, you can see that most of them are outdoors towards the bottom part of the map, or the south side of the map if we're looking at the little compass on the screen. So again, I'm trying to lock down this specific room, pre-aiming where people are likely to come through. It looks like people are coming through. Easy little kill there. I jump out, try and see if I can take a different angle. And that's the thing, you want to stay mobile. You don't want to just camp in one location. A lot of times you're going to see someone with a barricade, barbed wire positioned right here, and that's not the way you want to go. That's kind of like baby steps. And then more often than not, people get stuck doing that instead of actually evolving their gameplay so they can actually start getting more kills. Right here, I get a little bit outgunned. I miss my shots. Not a big deal. That's going to be the only death of the match. Now you can see I'm over here and they're in the power position. So they're kind of like a trade-off of power positions. I am going for that long shot, so that's why I'm backed up as far as I can. But this is ideally where you want to be, because you're going to be picking people as they're coming out of spawn. I can see that a guy was coming from the right side. It looks like we still have the spawns, my teammates behind me, and I'm just waiting for us to be able to push up. As this guy comes in, I'm able to take him out. I know there's another one there. I wasn't quite sure exactly where he went, but you can see my teammates are flooding from behind me. So there should be people in that window or on a head glitch. End up taking that guy out, and now we're just kind of waited, posted up. So you want to generally lock down this area, which is a control point if you play control, and then you can see in that little room is a hard point when you play hard point, or at least that area next to that room. So a lot of the map control and positioning relies heavily on your ability to predict when the spawn's about to flip. Right now you can see how many of my teammates are near me or on my side of the map. So we're in a pretty good spot. I'm just shooting people, end up getting them, most of them one shot. My teammates aren't finishing them off, or they do finish them off and I get an assist or whatever the case is. I'm trying to get these headshots. It's just not necessarily the ideal situation when I'm trying to go for these long shots. I gotta back up as far as I can. You can see where they're positioned. No one's actually in that room, which would give them a little bit more elevation. They'd be able to see the teammates. They'd be able to take them out pretty easily. A lot of our teammates are posted up, so we're in a pretty good spot. And I can see one teammate is on the far end. It looks like he's going for a flank or in the middle of the building, but it does feel like there is something going on here. It looks like there's too much space, so it's too good to be true. That's why I'm kind of pre-aimed. And now you can see that the spawns flipped. So you can see how that void happened, and then all of a sudden it got very predictable. There are people here now. I'm going to go ahead and choose my timing wisely. I'm going to jump out as they're distracted. I end up taking pretty much all of them out. Got the assist on the last one. There's another one coming out. I strafe with it, take that guy out, and now I got to start to rotate a little bit, see if I can get a better position. These guys are all right here. So this is how I would run this power position. The UAV also says that there's people behind me, so it looks like my teammates are taking care of those guys. I'm able to take out that one, and the guy has a sensor dart here. So we're actually in a really good spot here. I'm still feeling like the enemies are coming from this general direction on the east side of the map. Doesn't look like we've gotten control yet, so I just got to kind of wait it out. You can see how I'm kind of locking down this area. And then I make the decision, okay, I'm going to go to the other side. There's tripwire right there. I end up walking right past it, got around it, and then I keep moving through. And you can see there's a bunch in this area. And this is why this area is such a hot spot for death, because as people run through, there's way too many angles. So the overall goal right now is to rotate to that room. You can see there are enemies coming up. It does look like there's a few teammates with me. Looks like there's a little bit going on, but the spawns are still on this west side. As soon as we get another UAV pass, you can see they're still spawning in that area. Decide to peek it, see if I can take this guy out. Doesn't look like anyone killed them. They ended up getting an assist or whatever the case is, because they didn't pop up in the kill feed. Now it's about deciding when I want to use this Hellstorm. I could have just posted up right there, but I get into an area where I feel like I'm safest, and then I end up aiming for a few people in this spawn. This should theoretically flip the spawns, so the enemies should all be coming from the opposite side. So that's something to be aware of, is sometimes when you call in streaks, it will almost guarantee the flip of the spawn. So you can see my teammate on the east end of the map, they are in that power position I was just in, and that's how you can control this, because the spawns are pretty good from this area. So like I said, this is actually really easy to do. You don't have to do anything crazy, but it's another skill that you add to your repertoire. Obviously I could run around through the middle of the map, maybe clear out someone in the vent, go around the flank side, whatever I want to do. There's a lot you can do, but for the most part you got to diversify your repertoire. You can see I unlocked that. I got my long shot. Ended up trying to get a couple kills there. It didn't really work out. Then I strategically used my TAC 5 to get my sniper's nest. So it works out pretty easy that you're able to cycle up your streaks that way. That's a whole nother tactic that I've talked about in other videos. But this is just something that you got to be aware of. So it looks like most of the enemies are going to be coming from this area, because you can see where the sensor dart is. I peek out, doesn't look like anything's going on, going through mid-map, and now I'm just playing casual at this point. I've done what I needed to do with the long shot. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. If you are brand new to the channel, or you're one of the 72% that haven't yet subscribed, just go ahead and try out that subscribe button. Make it turn from red to gray with notifications on. I can guarantee you're going to improve as a player regardless of your skill level. Also, remember to leave a comment of the map you'd like to see in a future video. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.